Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Brenda Hasselbrock here with the Wellness Way in Houston and Memorial. Happy Tuesday to you. Even though the weather's a little gloomy outside, we know that the sun's still shining. So today what I want to talk about, here we are just cruising through February. Let me move that pillow out of the way. Moving through February, which is Heart Health Month. So I just want to weigh in on that and talk about that for just a second. Let me get my paperwork here together. Awesome. So, because Heart Health Month is very important, it really shouldn't be a month, it should be the whole year, but heart disease is still the #1 killer. So I do want to talk about this and take a look at that. It's the #1 killer for both men and women in the United States. My little sheet here from one of the labs that we use in town is SpectraCell, and they have this beautiful presentation about Heart Health Month, and they're saying that 50% of people who have heart attacks have normal cholesterol. So, you know, we blame everything on cholesterol, and cholesterol is bad, and if you have high cholesterol, it's bad. But 50% of the people having heart attacks have normal cholesterol, so we need to take a look at that. I had a patient about a year ago that very much into taking good care of himself. He goes and gets checked regularly. He has these corporate physical exams with his doctor on a regular basis, and he had an evaluation with his cardiologist. And on his last appointment, the cardiologist told him he had like less than 5% chance of having a heart attack over the next 5 years. Well, a few months later, at 52 years old, he had a heart attack. Thankfully, he survived, but so we just have to look at how we are handling this and what is a better way to evaluate how well we're doing. And then my little thing over here from SpectraCell, they said, doctors now understand that measuring cholesterol is often misleading and is considered an outdated test. So one of the most common tests that they run on a regular basis is a lipid panel. So cholesterol, HDL, LDL, and triglyceride. And this panel does give us information. It can give us some useful information, but it's not all the information that we need. We're missing some very important information. And like our SpectraCell lab said, it's just misleading and it's an outdated test. Not that we shouldn't still do it. We should do that plus other things on top of that. And this is where the Wellness Way approach and the Wellness Way of thinking is different. We have to think differently if we want a different result. And again, it's still the #1 leading cause of death in the United States. So we have to do something different than just the plain lipid panel. So at the Wellness Way, we talk about the Swiss watch. There we go. You can kind of see the poster behind me somewhat. The Swiss watch. So a Swiss watch has all these different gears that interact together to give you precision timing. But if one of those gears slows down or stops, what happens to the rest of the watch? It slows down or stops as well. So the body is like that. We have a lot of different systems and they all affect each other. We can't just isolate the heart and look at the heart all by itself because it's involved with all these other gears. It's one of the many systems in the body that works together and that reflect on each other. So if one of the gears are off in the body, if one of the gears is slipping, it affects the whole body as well. So when it comes to the heart, there are other systems and gears that can affect it. So again, it's not isolated, it's not standalone. It works in relationship with all the other systems and gears that we have going on. So for example, Dr. Patrick, he has a saying that's really funny but very telling. He said that your big toe can control your heart. How's that possible, Dr. Brenda? Well, if I drop a hammer on your toe, what happens to your heart? It reacts, doesn't it? Your heart rate goes sky high, as it's supposed to. But now it's sky high because we smashed your toe. Do you need blood pressure medication? Absolutely not. It doesn't handle the problem. So there are other things that control the heart. But pain is one of them that can increase the heart rate. So that's one of the things we need to take into consideration. Let's see. Other stressors for the heart. Okay, so at the Wellness Way, we call them the 3 T's. Traumas, toxins, and thoughts, right? So traumas can be things like smashing your big toe. It could be a trauma. Or repetitive stressors or repetitive injuries that you might suffer through. We have toxins. My goodness, there are so many toxins in our world these days and in our environment this day. So it could be something from simple as food allergies, which is simple but not simple. It needs to be addressed. It could be something like leaky gut. It could be infections, okay? That can have a big impact on how your heart functions. It could be sugar, it could be medications, not to mention the other bad habits like smoking, drinking, not sleeping, things like that. But it could be the kidneys affecting it, the hormones, your pancreas. All of these gears interact together, all right? So thoughts, these are mental stressors. So we have our traumas, toxins, and our thoughts, mental stressors, things that cause us anxiety, panic attacks, things that we're worried about, whether they're real or imagined. So again, the lipid panel, total cholesterol, LDL, HDL, and triglycerides. So it's some good information, it's just not complete, all right? So, and then you hear about HDL is the good cholesterol and LDL is the bad cholesterol. Honestly, neither one of them are good or bad. They're both necessary, and they're there for a reason. I think of LDL as like the Uber for cholesterol, because cholesterol is a fat substance. It can't just make its way through the bloodstream. It has to have a carrier. It has to have an Uber, and that's what LDL is. LDL takes the cholesterol out to the body where it's needed. And then I think of HDL as like the recycle truck. So it goes out to the body and picks up the leftovers and takes it back to the liver to either be recycled or to be flushed out. So both of them are necessary depending on what the demand of the body, what the condition of the body is in. All right. So typically LDL is higher when the body's stressed out or when it's needing some repair. We need LDL for repair. So it's very necessary. It's not evil, it's not bad. Your body makes it. All right, so, but the big thing to understand about cholesterol in general, especially LDL, is the number and the size, okay? Because size is very important. And my friends from SpectraCell, they said that measuring LDL particle size and numbers is a much better predictor of heart disease risk than LDL or total cholesterol. So measuring the particle size and number is a better measure, a better marker for heart disease risk, all right? And it appears to be one of the better markers that's available to us now. So that's really good to know. So here's something that's important to know too. The liver makes the LDL, right? When the liver makes the LDL, it's big and fluffy. And I'm going to just switch screens here for just a second. Okay, so you've all seen a tennis net on a tennis court, right? And so the net prevents the tennis ball from passing through, right? So think of the tennis net as your arterial wall, right? So your blood flows inside this little vessel, and the net is the wall that blocks things from coming in and out, okay? So when these LDLs are made in the liver, they're big and fluffy like a tennis ball, okay? So as they're going out to the body to deliver cholesterol where it's needed, there's inflammation and oxidation that occurs. Now this big fluffy tennis ball starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it's about the size of a golf ball. Now it can slip through that tennis net. So as this LDL gets oxidized and gets inflamed, now it can actually enter into that endothelial wall. And then we get plaquing, and then we start having a problem, right? So there are different tests. We need to test differently because there are tests, and SpectraCell is one of the labs that we use to test these particle size and particle numbers. So we can run those tests and find out what's going on. Now, who should consider having this test run? An advanced cardiometabolic panel. So according to SpectraCell, their list says anybody who has a family history of heart disease, strokes, or diabetes. Again, diabetes because pancreas has an influence on your heart. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for joining us. If you have a poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, smoker, excess weight, have a high LDL-C, so that's measuring your complete LDL. If you have high blood pressure, if you have hormone imbalance, if you have thyroid problems, all of these gears affect each other, right? Suffer from chronic inflammation. Well, chronic inflammation affects everything in the body. Or low antioxidant status. So here are some things, and you know, we talk about February being Heart Health Month, but really every month should be Heart Health Month. So if you know somebody, if you yourself are concerned, like, you know, what's my risk of heart disease, there are ways that you can measure that, and you can find out what your risk level is, and then knowing that, finding the stressors, there are ways that you can adjust that and find those stressors, remove them, help your body heal and repair. right? So that you can be healthy for a long time. All right, so let me see. Measuring cholesterol alone is insufficient for accurately assessing cardiovascular risk. So there is better testing available. Actually, this company that we use, they have a really great price for cash or for insurance, so I love using them. Their test is very comprehensive. It gives us a ton of information, so I like having this test. It also gives us the lipoproteins, so we know how your body's processing your fats, if you have enough of the fatty acids. It also gives us some blood sugar information. So we talked about how insulin resistance and hormones and diabetes can affect this. So go beyond standard testing to determine your true risk for heart disease. So if you're concerned about yourself, if you're concerned about somebody that you love, we'd be happy to run this test for you and see how you're doing. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining. Find out what your stressors are, what your triggers are, and see if we can help you out there. So Heart Health Month, if you'd like to get your heart checked, we're here to help. And we have wonderful labs that we use to get you very complete and thorough testing. So reach out to us. You can message us or just call us at the office. We're here to help. Thank you so much for joining me today. Look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. I hope you have a great afternoon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.